Welcome to Oyate Today. Oyate means the people in Lakota, brought to you by Skull Construction.
Hi, welcome to Oyate Today. I am your host, Richie Richards. Oyate Today is produced by Tim and Jackie Gallego. Tim is an enrolled member of the Oglala Sioux tribe. Our guest tonight is Mr. Brandon Sprague, Cheyenne River Sioux tribal member and excellent blues musician here in the Black Hills. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me, Richie.
I really do appreciate you being here, so thank you.
Yeah.
Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? I know that you play up in Deadwood on the weekends, but for those of us who are not familiar with you, could you give us a little bit of bio information on yourself as well as some background and such?
Yeah. I was born in Oklahoma, actually. Moved back up here. My whole family's actually from this area. My father is an enrolled member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, and I got a younger brother and an older sister also. And we ended up moving to Oklahoma, came back up this way, kind of grew up this way. My dad had a record store for years, and as long as I can remember, we had music in our house. Like, as young as I was, I could always remember something being played around the house, and whether it just be guitar or most of them just being music in general, all kinds of music, everything. I mean, there was not just one genre. And my dad had a record store, and just kind of raised up here and kind of got my start like that. He booked a lot of shows through the Uptown Grill at the time, Uptown Grill, and even they had I believe it was the Freight House, which is the old Sanford's building right now.
Sure.
Some of the greatest acts, I've seen some of the best stuff come through this town, and that was years ago. I mean, I was born in '78, so I'm 40 now, so I mean, when I was a kid, I used to see some stuff at the Uptown Grill over here, and that's debunked, closed, it's not around anymore. And same with the Sanford's place, the Freight House. And yeah, fabulous, everything from the Fabulous Thunderbirds to Doyle Bramhall Sr. to Clarence Gatemouth Brown, Jimmy Rogers, Tinsley Ellis, Eddie the Chief Clearwater.
Sure.
I mean, just some of the most amazing things. Chris Duarte. I mean, and as a kid experiencing that and seeing all that was just like amazing.
And your father is Donovan Sprague, local historian and educator here in
Yep.
Rapid City and Black Hills area.
Yep.
And so the store that you're talking about is the Rockin' Records? Is that what it-
Rockin' Records.
Where was that located at then?
He had two locations. He was actually over on Jackson Boulevard for a while, right across from the Big D oil change place, kind of. The building's still there. It's like a casino, something now. And then he was also over on Sturgis Road, over by the old Super Duper, which is closed now. But God, he used to have in-store appearances there. I mean, these people that played here, he'd book them, and then they would come down to the record store and hang out during the day, and just talk to people, sign autographs. And sometimes, there was a lot of people there. Sometimes there was hardly any people there, which would be, we were always there. But it didn't seem to bother them at all. I mean, they just went right along with it. And
So for having
people.
this kind of unlimited access to, I guess, musicians on some level, but also the albums and the records and such, how did that inspire you and influence you to kind of go into music yourself then? What did that access provide for your life, musically, I guess?
Oh man, it was just such an outlet, and I just became so fascinated with it and just everything into it. I mean, between seeing all the acts coming through and 98% of them were just the kindest, nicest people you'd ever meet. I should even say more like 99% of them were just the most kindest, nicest people you met. And, that just always kind of appealed to me, no ego, and just, these guys could have been, they're just amazing musicians, especially some of those older guys. They were legends even at that time. People like Jimmy Rogers, they played with people like Muddy Waters, he was in the original Muddy Waters band.
And you got to meet him then?
Yeah, a couple
Awesome.
different times. My dad was actually personal friends with Jimmy Rogers, and he was one that really kind of stuck close and just wrote killer songs, and the way it just affected me, I just found myself just enamored with it. Everything was just blues, and that's all I could do for that time. I mean, for years there was just nothing but blues. I mean, everything. I think the rockest stuff I got was like Jimi Hendrix, you know.
Sure.
But
And so from those early experiences of meeting these influential people in the music world, what was some of that early kind of advice that you might have came across from some of them, whether it's about the humility, the musicianship, the business?
Yeah.
What was some of that kind of key information that was relayed to you as a young man, as a young boy?
man, most of them were just had the kindest words to say, and it was all about music. I mean, that's all it was about. And, you know, they'd give advice about how to maybe try this, you know, if this isn't working, or, you know, do it this way, or, you know, here's how it's done, or, you know, you never knew which one you're going to get. But all of them were just so supportive and so encouraging and just so kind. You know, I mean, I was a little kid, you know. I mean, I can honestly say, I mean, back then I was probably just loud and just annoying and, you know, in people's way most of the time. You know, people tell me to turn down and stuff. But, you know, it's just part of being a kid and growing up and, you know, learning that whole field and just kind of getting used to it.
So let me ask you then, when did you first pick up a guitar and kind of decide, you know, I want to play guitar and try this out?
Gosh, I probably first picked it up, I don't know, I had to have been around 8 years old, 9, somewhere around there, and picking on it. I remember my dad showing me a few things, like some Jimmy Reed kind of things, and I remember the strings being so high and just so hard to press. But then after some of those acts started coming through and you started seeing them so live and up close and then being right around you, I mean, that's when I really started wanting to get serious. And that was like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, you know, you really kind of start getting serious about it. You know, you get yourself a decent guitar and you see how these guys are doing it. And I mean.
And so when did you play your first gig then? I understand it was locally here.
It was. Gosh, I had to have been 10 or 11. And it was at a place right up here. It was right next to the old Oasis bar.
Here in Rapid City.
It was in Rapid City, right on Main Street up here. I don't think it's even there anymore, but it's right down the street from here. And also, me and my dad also did a show like at the Central States Fair, like at a tent or something like that. I think we did I don't know if I had electrics or acoustics or not, but I imagine I had electric at that time. Because I know this show I played in electric, so I imagine I was doing electric then too. But that was the first official playing out in public.
So for somebody who has no musical talent whatsoever, that'd be myself, you know, what does that feel like to be on stage then at a young age and to just feel that that feedback from the audience then? How did that, I bet it's addictive on some level, I guess.
It is. It's mostly terrifying.
Yeah.
As a little kid, even now, I mean, sometimes you can get up there on the bigger shows, you know, on the bigger stuff and still kind of be like, my heart.
And currently you actually have a contract to play up at the looks like the Deadwood Tobacco Company on Friday and Saturday nights throughout the year. Could you tell us a little bit about that then?
Yeah, I've been up Deadwood Tobacco Company probably about, I would say probably about 10 years now. It might even be more. I think it might even be more, but at least a good 10 years. But I've been there every weekend. I've been the house band, and during the summer, those hours change. Sometimes I play Friday through Sunday. Sometimes it changes from Thursday through Sunday. But yeah, last 10 years, my band's been there. And we do everything from full electric band to trio to 2-3 guitar players up there to acoustic duo to me being in there by myself with an acoustic. I mean, it's kind of all over. Especially the last couple of years, it's been pretty cool. We've been just switching it up, just doing some different stuff. But there's been I've had a lot of different bands in there, and each one of them has been good, and they've all been different, and people have come and gone, but I'm still there. So.
Sure. I've actually been to a couple of your shows there, and the setting itself it's beneath the Fairmont Hotel then? Fairmont
the Oyster Bay. Yep.
Oyster Bay,
yep, Fairmont.
Down in the basement. What's interesting about that location is I understand that was one of the, if not the original jail site for Deadwood.
It is.
And you see the vaults down there outside of the bar area, and you have kind of like this whole historical, almost dungeony looking place.
It is for sure.
For what you do with blues, then this is a perfect setting for that.
It's completely the perfect setting. I mean, everything about it. I mean, it's like it's almost written out, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like you just have to get in there and feel the vibe.
You do.
Yeah, cool.
You do.
Brandon, we're going to take a break here and get a word from our sponsors. But when we get back, I'd like to learn a little bit more about the people that you've toured with. Those, I understand B.B. King is a part of this. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Our future is our children. Their hope is you. Hi, Jeff Bridges here. Help our children grow strong for the next 7 generations. 20% of Rapid City school children are Native American. Many come from difficult situations, experiencing hopelessness and despair. Rural America Initiatives brings hope and opportunity, one dream at a time, one child at a time, one family at a time. Please, make a tax-deductible contribution. Be a part of the dream.
You can't predict life's ups and downs. You just give it all you've got to stay on top. But it's easier with a partner like Security First Bank. Since 1898, we've been riding with you through the country's biggest ups and downs. And this is where we'll stay. Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on. Member FDIC.
Our school has great students and dedicated teachers, but we need our community volunteers to help us to provide a broader view of the many ways a good education can point to a bright future.
Did someone say volunteer? Our team at Black Hills is here to help. In fact, we sponsor events and projects, and our employees volunteer for organizations throughout the Black Hills, including partnering with schools to help students learn more about life outside the classroom. Extracurricular, extra fun.
It's really difficult in any medical clinic when we see patients injured in car wrecks who cannot afford the medical treatment that they need. So many of them had an insurance claim that they settled on their own without taking this into consideration. Of course, the insurance company won't open their claim after it's been settled, so they cannot get the medical care necessary to recover from their injuries. Before settling a claim, it would be wise to contact the insurance claim experts at Moore Faust Injury Law Group.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. I'm your host, Richie Richards, once again. Our guest tonight is Mr. Brandon Sprague, Cheyenne River Sioux tribal member and excellent blues musician. I want to thank you once again for being here, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Richie.
In our next segment, we're going to have a little bit of guitar playing from you, so I'm very excited about that. But first, I'd like to learn a little bit more. We kind of went through your childhood and how music and your father's shop influenced your life as a musician, and that early inspiration of those people that you met as a result of being a kind of a kid or a boy inside of a music and record shop. So very exciting life to be growing up in anyway, besides the music.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'd like to know more about is, when did you first, what was that gig that you really felt like I've come, I've arrived on the kind of blues scene, and you kind of arrived, I guess.
Yeah, I did a lot of playing locally for years, and did a lot of stuff like Sturgis Rally. I mean, I'm still doing that every year. But that Vince Converse tour, he had a band called Sunset Heights and came around here quite often. He was from Houston, based out of Houston, and he'd been down in Louisiana. He had a record at the time out of New York by a guy, it was Jimi Hendrix's producer, Eddie Kramer. He'd made it was a great record, still is a great record. But he had called me and invited me and another bass player I was playing with at the time to come down and play some gigs down there in Louisiana. And we did a lot of playing and a lot of really shacks, and I mean, a lot of real low down places,
Yeah.
And believe it or not, those were the kind of places that kind of really, it wasn't like the huge stage, I mean, those gigs are great, and I love those gigs, and I've had some unbelievable gigs like that too. But to me, really the ones that really stand out and really make me think about, like making it, or playing on the blues scene, it'd be those ones, those real low down times, like when you're hard up. I mean, I was living in a house at the time with just a house. It was nothing in it, no electricity, no water, nothing. All of us band members were just in this house he had, and that was it. And it was hard times, And looking back on it now, I mean, it was good for me. Looking back at it now, I mean, back then it wasn't so good, you know. I mean, it's not so fun when you're going through it. But it sure did make out the musician I was going to be and who I wanted to be and how I wanted to be, really, for those hard up gigs, you know. I mean, we did a lot of playing, a lot of just shacks and really rough areas. I mean, that whole tour, we went to Houston and crisscrossing between Louisiana and Texas, and I mean, there's some rough areas.
I can imagine. So would these kind of be like the kind of stereotypical like juke joints and
it
such?
Would be. It really would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want to call it, but that's exactly what it was. I mean, just tin shacks. You know, they'd have a giant tub of just some jungle juice. You know, you just dip in. You know, everybody throws $5 as you walk in, and bring your own mug, kind of stuff. You know, I mean, it's just low down.
Yeah. Yeah. So at some point then through your career and your life, then you actually blues and the guitar actually was a means of just your basic survival needs then.
It really was. I mean, it really was. It becomes like your tool and it becomes everything. I mean, it's just stuff you protect and, you know, I mean, it's like your livelihood, you know, I mean, it's everything and you're putting it on the table every night. I mean, every night I'm playing, I give my all no matter what. Sick, you know, tired, hungry, sad, whatever it is. I'm giving everything I have on that stage every night, no matter what is going on with me. And I mean, it means something to me. It's a lot deeper than just music and everything like that. I mean, it means a lot more to me than just that.
Sure. And it definitely comes across during your shows. As I mentioned, I've been to a couple of your shows in the past. So
thanks,
you
man.
really feel that vibe of you giving it your all, almost like it's, I don't want to say like your last night on stage, but at the same time, you really feel that true energy of you putting it your all into it. So I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, it means a lot, man.
I understand you played with B.B. King.
I did.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I just by chance got it. My dad actually goes back with him. I mean, my dad knows him from years back, and that was in 2004. At the time, he was looking for opening act for his North American tour, and somehow my dad got hold of his people, and they started talking, and just threw my name out by chance, and I was lucky enough to get his North American tour for 2004. So we got to play all over it, you know, as far as up here and stuff, and it was just amazing. I mean, it was something like, I don't know how many shows it was, 6 or 7 shows, something like that, so
you actually got to sit down with B.B. King and not only play, but I mean, I'm sure you had some interesting conversations.
I mean, the most amazing things, and you know, it's those kind of experiences, you know, where you're paying attention, you know, everything you're saying, you're hanging on every word, and you know, yes sir, and you know, you're just listening. I'm a quiet, humble man anyways, and very respectful, but I mean, somebody like that, I mean, it was just like, you're blown away. I mean, you cannot believe this is happening. You know, you're talking to them, you're hanging out with them, or whatever it be, playing, I mean, whatever it is, you cannot believe it's happening. I mean, of all people, B.B. King, I mean, to me, you know, he's up there, you know, on the Mount Rushmore of the greats, you know, he's one of them, you know, for sure.
So what was some of the advice or some of the kind of, I guess, mentorship on some level that he had given you?
Yeah, he just had such great kind words to say, and just, he's such a common sense, and talk about humble. I mean, somebody that wouldn't need to be humble, you know, I mean, everybody cites B.B. King as an influence, from Eric Clapton to everybody, you know, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, any musician you talk to, especially in the blues field, I mean, usually B.B.'s like right at the top of the list, you know. There's a couple, but he's always up there. But he was just such great words of encouragement, you know, keep it going, you know. I mean, I remember him saying, you know, he's not gonna be around forever, and, you know, people have to keep it going, otherwise that music just is gonna die. I mean, the blues isn't a popular form of music by any means anyways, you know. I mean, I was looking at a statistic not too long ago, and it was really sad. I mean, it's like literally a dying art form, and the percentage, it was something like, gosh, I want to say 7 to 12% of the population actually listened to blues.
Wow.
I mean, which is nothing.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things.
It really is nothing. I mean, it's so small, but yeah, he just had the nicest words of encouragement, and, you know, same kind of thing, you know, as those other guys, you know, this, like this, you know, those kind of things, you know. If you try it this way, and, you know, do it this way, and 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 it's just like school, you know, you're going to school and you're learning from the masters, man. I mean,
You know, I too have listed B.B. King as an influence, even as a journalist. So,
Yeah. I mean, he's just a great guy to talk to, and just so humble and kind. I mean, I always said that, I've never met somebody in my entire life that has been that famous to me in my eyes. I mean, to me, he's more famous than like Eric Clapton or Jimi Hendrix. I mean, in my eyes.
Sure.
I mean, it's just like almost like a god.
Yeah.
You know, and he's right in front of you, you know.
Yeah. Brandon, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to hear Brandon Sprague, and he's going to play a jam for us. So we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Native American children make up 20% of our school system in Rapid City. Rural America Initiatives, we have a capital campaign going on to build a first-class structure for these children. They've survived for 25 years in modular structures. It's time to bring them together to see this become a dream for these children come true.
Please consider donating to Rural American Initiatives and all they have to offer, from Head Start to high school, in empowering American Indian youth in succeeding in their goals.
Native Sun News has been voted the best weekly newspaper in its class for 2015 by the South Dakota and North Dakota Newspaper Associations. You can find a copy of the Native Sun News at many businesses and vending machines in Rapid City and the surrounding area, and on all 9 reservations. We publish every Wednesday, so advertisers and subscribers can reach our diverse readership by calling 605-721-1266. The Native Sun News covers the other side of the story.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they gonna know?
Talk. They hear you.
You can do it if you try.
I have a dream. I want to be a soldier. I have a dream. I want to be a construction worker.
You can help kids' dreams come true by donating to Rural America Initiatives Building Fund.
Hi, welcome back to Oyate Today. Once again, I'm your host, Richie Richards. Thank you again, Brandon, for being here tonight. This has been a very good conversation. So,
that's been fun.
this is going to be a first for Oyate Today. We're actually going to have Brandon Sprague play a Delta Blues slide guitar, and it's actually a dobro acoustic guitar is what we're playing. And we're going to be playing some Delta Blues.
Cool.
So I don't want to take up any more of your time. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Cool, man.
I went down to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. I went down to the crossroads, love fell down on my knees. That's the Lord above for mercy, baby. Beg me if you please. Well, I'm going down to Rosedale, take my ride by my side. I said I'm going down to Rosedale. Lord, take my rider by my side. Ain't nobody seem to know me, baby. Everybody passed me by. Run, you can run, baby. Tell my friend poor Willie Brown. Run, you can run, baby. Tell my friend poor Willie Brown. That I do believe I'm sinking, baby. I'm sinking way down. I said run, you can run. Tell my friend poor Willie Brown. I said run, you can run. No, tell my friend Willie Brown that I do believe I'm sinking, baby. I'm sinking way down. I said I do believe I'm sinking. I'm sinking way down. I said I do believe I'm sinking. I'm sinking way down.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, Richie. I
that
appreciate
was really
man.
awesome. This is a first for our show, so I
Cool.
really appreciate it. You can find Brandon Sprague and the Brandon Sprague Blues Band at the Deadwood Tobacco Company beneath the Oyster Bar there in Deadwood.
Oyster Bay, the Fairmont Hotel.
Bay.
Yep. Right
Sure,
on Main
that's
Street.
in Deadwood on Main Street.
Yep.
And you can find them there on Friday and Saturday nights when he's not out doing another gig elsewhere. So once again, thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you so much, Richie.
I want to thank Prairie Edge for hosting our show tonight. I would like to thank our producers, our sponsors, and I want to thank you for making Oyate Today a part of your night. Thank you.
You've been watching Oyate Today, brought to you by Skull Construction.